Hi there, Phil Simborg for the USBGF, and we have a cube problem. Very typical situation where blue is being blitzed, red is blitzing. It's a form of a hitting game where he's trying to close them out, and red is on roll. What do you think is the right cube action here? Should red double? And if red doubles, should blue take or drop? Okay, this came up in a chouette that I was playing not too long ago, and red doubled and blue dropped, and blues, some of blues dropped and some of the blues took, and a little discussion ensued as to whether or not it's a take or a drop, and a friendly wager came about. And which side do you think won? Well, it is a double. Is it a take? And the answer is yes. And I don't have the rollout in front of me, but I did roll it out. And it's a pretty substantial take, not huge, 5% here. I think the rollout made it a little bit stronger, but it clearly is a take. And the people who were on the wrong side of the bet, who thought that it was a drop, just couldn't understand how this could possibly be a take. It looks like you are going to get hit on the next roll with ones, threes, sixes, and eights. And if you don't roll a five immediately, it looks like you're going to get gammoned a bunch. And all that's true. But you might not get hit. You might hit back. You might get hit and he doesn't make the point. You might get hit and he makes the point and you still win. He's got three checkers to bring around. And if you can't visualize that there's enough wins here to compensate for all the times that you get gammoned, and they are substantial. The gammons are estimated at around 33%, but you win about 33%. And don't forget, sometimes you win gammons too, about 8%. How can you tell that this is a take? Well, the gammon value at money or unlimited games is 50% of wins. So if you have 33 gammons that you're losing and 8 that you're winning, works out to about 25 net gammons. And if you take off, you assume those 25 gammons is worth about 12 and a half wins, because gammons are only worth half as much. That's about 12 and a half. And you take 12 and a half from 33 and a half, and you come up with um, about 21, 22%, right at the take point, right at the edge, because your take point's somewhere close to that, about 21 and a half. So it's really right on the edge of a take drop, which is pretty much what 5% means. But if you can't understand why it's a take, then you need to play these games out. You need to play against Extreme Gammon or have Extreme Gammon play it so you can see how it evolves. Well, here's how I do that. It's kind of fun. Um, you can play either side, but if you play either side, you might get a false record of what's happening because you might not be playing right. Now you can play using the tutor mode or the free mode where you can get hints to make sure that every play you make is right so that you're playing perfectly, or you can just get lazy and have some fun and watch the computer play itself. That's the way I like to do it at least a few times. So the first thing I do is I save the position by hitting Control C. Control C saves this position to my clipboard, and if I ever want to paste the position back in again, for example, at the end of a game, or if I mess up the position, all I have to do is hit Control V. There's the position again. So I've saved the position, and now I'm going to watch the two best players in the world play it. Let's have red on roll, which is what's shown, and go to Setup, Play from Position, and I'll make the top player Extreme Gammon, which is as good as anybody in the world, and the bottom player Extreme Gammon, which is about as good as anybody in the world, probably better, and hit OK and just sit back and see how the game plays out.
Double. Take.
Okay, as predicted, he hits. Blue doesn't hit back. Red covers. Yeah, in this particular case, you're probably sorry that you took. And you're going to be sorry most of the time. You only win about 33% of the time. Oh, that's interesting to watch. With double ones there, red just kept attacking and shifted points. Even though it's a worse point, when you're blitzing, all points are pretty good. I can learn a lot by watching this game. Looks like blue might have some game here. I'm starting to see that blue could have a take if he can come in now with a 3 or even if he makes the anchor. Red won't always cover, but he did. Okay, it's looking pretty bad, but it's still not hopeless. And one game doesn't prove anything, but I could see some glimmer of hope for blue there. If blue had hit one more time, or blue had anchored, I could see how he could win this game. Even though he's pretty unhappy, he can still win this game right now if he can roll a 2. This game is not over. He's had like 4 or 5 rolls to roll a 2. If he had, blue would have a reasonable chance to win with all those checkers that red had to bring around. All right, he got his 2. What does that mean? It means he's probably not going to get gammon that much now. The gammons had to have gone way down. I can review this more slowly later. I can click on these buttons and I can see what the odds of a gammon are from here. I guess they probably went down to about 25%, something like that, after making that point. So he's already got a game. Oops, now he's not going to get gammon that much at all. I think the gammons go down to more like 18% now, as I recall from my reference positions with the 2-point holding game. Maybe 15%, something in that range. So if he can only get gammon about 15%, he probably only wins this game now about 10, 12%. And again, it's fun to do these estimates as we go, and then I can go back and see how good my estimates are. And that's the way I can sharpen my estimating. Why is it good to hold those numbers? Because it helps you know when to double, when to take, before you get to those points when you know how they evolve and what those numbers will be. So it's a learning experience. There's a saying, every disciplined action has multiple rewards. So the reward of this is, first of all, I can certainly see why it's a double. And I can see why it isn't that disastrous to take. When things went really bad, blue still didn't get gammoned. And I can see several places in this game where blue could have gotten back in the game. So I could see just from one time playing through some reasons why blue might take this cue. One of the major reasons you dropped was the fear of gammon, and even though the blitz worked pretty good at the beginning, blue was able to anchor and not get gammoned. The reason I'm letting it finish is so it'll stop and I can look through the things I was talking about and see where we're at. Oh, it's continuing to play, I'm sorry. So let's go back while it's playing and I'll look at the first game. And remember I said when he made the 2-point, I thought he could
double take.
Still playing. You only get gammoned about 8% from here with the 2-point anchor. And he can still win the game about 13% of the time. So you can see he has some game after he anchors. He's got chances to get a shot and pretty much no chance in the race. Let's do it again. Hit Control V and let's try it again, just to see what's different. By the way, I could have gone back and looked at each individual roll and see how the computer played every single roll. That's pretty enlightening also. Play from position, extreme gammon against extreme gammon. Hit the button, and nothing happens. Action. I know why, because the other game's still going. Anyway, I hope you get the point. Do this 5, 6, 7, 8 times. You'll learn a tremendous amount about how this game plays out. You'll get a good feel. If you just roll it out, you'll see the end results, but you won't see how it plays out. You won't see why blue has a take here. You won't see why red has a double. So it's a very enlightening way to learn the game. It's fun, and you're watching the 2 best players in the world show you how to play it and what to do. Hope this was interesting for you, and it's a way to get your arms around positions you don't really understand completely. And the major reason why you often don't understand the positions is you don't see or can't visualize how it's going to play out. And again, one time doesn't prove a thing, but it gives you some insights. 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 times, you'll have lots of insights and you'll have a really good feel for why blue has a take here. Thanks for watching and thanks for supporting the USBGF. Bye-bye.